Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Wes here from the Imaginarium of Wes MiSENER, and I have another video here for you today. Topic is why am I drawn to grunge? It's more like an opinionated video. This is more like about aesthetics and ideas around design. I'm just going to talk to you about how I got influenced in sort of grunge kind of aesthetic. Um, I really think moving into Parkdale when it wasn't so regentrified helped me a lot with it. Like there's all kinds of people running around, Parkdale in Toronto, and it's always been kind of a seedy sort of area. It has a lot of mentally ill, it has a lot of like addicted people, a lot of people on welfare because there's like and disability because there's like high rise buildings that are pretty run down and they're cheaper to rent than other places in downtown. Excuse me. So I think that's really like environmentally with my design and like what I became interested in hanging out in Parkdale, just cruising around on Queen Street or King or whatever really influenced me as far as grunge goes. And there's a lot of you know like, to be honest, I find the bum on the street that shops at Salvation Army and has an eclectic wardrobe of all types of things far more interesting than a guy in a fancy suit with a slick haircut. Like I'm drawn to the characters. I'm interested in the characters. The characters really inspire me, and Parkdale in Toronto is full of them. So that's how I got really inspired by that aesthetic or even that kind of look. Um, there's other things that influence my work as well, but I wanted to talk about grunge a little bit here in this video. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was Parkdale. I moved, like I moved into Parkdale because the rent was cheap and I could get a pretty decent place, and it's like the west end of downtown Toronto, so it's like not too far away from downtown. Like it's still considered downtown, and the rent used to be a crazy deal for downtown. So a lot of artists and all types of young people kind of flocked towards Parkdale because the rent was cheap and it was easily accessible to downtown Toronto. Or I mean, even if you just want to stick around in the west end of Toronto, there's so much to do, and there's all these restaurants, and there's a lot to do. So the west end is quite happening. I really love living down here. I mean, I used to live on Jameson, 165 Jameson. Now I live at Queen West and Dufferin. So I didn't move too far. I'm like right on the edge of where Parkdale ends, and kind of you go across the bridge, and then it's another area there. So I mean, I'm right on the edge. I'm still in Parkdale, and every time I go out on the street and I walk up, Queen West, especially Queen West. The other day it was really sunny, and I went to get my hair cut, and I seen characters, and I seen people I know from the area, and people I always say hi to, and all different types of people from all walks of life like are around this area. So it's inspiring. I mean, I always felt every time, because I was on Close Ave when I first moved, which is parallel to Jameson. So I started on Close Ave. It's a small little street, and then the next street over is Jameson. So I've always been around that little South Parkdale area. And every time I went on Queen or walked down King towards Dufferin, there was characters, there was things going on. I mean, the stories I've seen, like a guy took a shit in front of me. One time I came out of my Jameson apartment, and just down the street there was this sketched out lady like throwing boxes of like liquor bottles onto the street, like, and cars are driving by, and you know, like people are out watching, and like she had, I guess, a psychotic episode, or who knows what was going on, but she thought it was a good idea just to litter the street with glass liquor bottles and beer bottles, like in the middle of the day. So I mean, and the guy who took a shit in front of me, like, you know, in King and Jameson, like that's, you know, something I'll never forget as well. And you know what? Actually, I said hi to him the other day when I seen him on the street when I went to go get my haircut. So, you know, Parkdale's grungy. Parkdale is messed up. It's got a lot of character, but I love it. I mean, I don't feel like it's unsafe. There's a lot of different types of people. There's a lot of poor people, but I don't feel like it's gangster. I heard in the past that people were running around with guns, stealing drugs and stuff, but it's not really that unsafe now. So I have Parkdale to thank for for really getting me into grunge and that sort of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little kind of, you know, more I'll tell you how I was influenced, and it was in my environment and the area that I was living in. If you enjoyed these videos, please like, please subscribe. All my information is below: my online store, my Instagram, my email. If you want to donate to my work, you can go to PayPal. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we will see you soon, and take care. Bye.